Just when I thought I couldn't lose more hope for The Boys Season 5 finale, I just came across something on Twitter that I think officially hammers the nail in the coffin for how things are gonna go down. So as I'm scrolling my Twitter feed, I literally come across a tweet saying Soldier Boy will no longer be in The Boys Season 5, making episode 7 his last appearance in the series. At first I thought there's no way this has to be rage bait, but I looked further into it and it's literally true. I'm truly at a loss for words here that they'd actually do this. And the implications of this aren't just on Soldier Boy himself. This literally means the entire finale will be bad, and I am fully certain of it. Now let me go ahead and read what the showrunner Eric Kripke said himself. When asked about putting the Impala reference in episode 7, he answers, "Yes, of course we did. Knowing that was going to be Jensen's last scene in the series, we wanted to put in one last reference. Should it be Impala?" And I was like, yeah, it probably should be Impala. And so Jensen looped in Impala just to do one last nod. Dude, honestly, I'm just wondering what the hell happened to this show. I've been trying to be the most positive I can be in this entire season, but now I'm truly starting to lose my calm. Who the hell thought it would be a good idea to vault Soldier Boy back up for the last and final time, with his character literally going down by being choked out by Homelander? And no, they're not gonna kill him off, they're just gonna put him back to sleep, because it's not like the show is literally coming to an end and there's nowhere else to go. I'm just wondering how the hell Jensen Ackles just went along with this. Or maybe some of these actors were just not informed on what was going to happen to their character, because after all, if you were to read the script, it would most likely be pretty vague. And it's just like, this one article really tells me that Soldier Boy's character is officially done for. And that's not in the sense that his arc is completed, that's in the sense that his character is officially terrible. This dude was my favorite part of season 3. I think he was the highlight of it, and throughout all of season 4, I was waiting for him to come back because of what he brought to the show. Now when season 5 comes around, not only is he a completely different person, but the way he's written makes no sense. In one scene, he seems to be against Homelander and wants to kill him, but in the next, he's helping him find the very thing that makes him immortal. The one thing that would mean he has to live forever. Oh, but it's what Clara would have wanted. Listen, I honestly don't care what Stormfront would have wanted, and I think I've moved on from her character since season 2. Don't get me wrong, I thought she was really interesting back when she was in the show, but this is 3 seasons later and we're still talking about a character that has barely anything to do with what actually needs to be happening in the final season. All of this would have been okay if it was wrapped up by episode 2, but to drag it all along until the 6th episode is absurd. So you're telling me he's doing tasks for a woman that clearly moved on from him, died, and is not coming back anytime soon.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What he does is essentially make Homelander stop living. Now, of course, that would communicate to Homelander that his dad actually kind of likes him. But in the very next episode, what does Soldier Boy do? The dude backtracks and says he's dipping and never seeing him again, basically. So if he truly found him weird and hated him, why would he grant him that amount of power, knowing that Homelander will be pestering him for the rest of time? Honestly, I don't know what the hell they're gonna even do with this character anymore. I know we're gonna have probably multiple seasons of Vought Rising to flesh him out even more, but why wouldn't you kill him off in the final season? Because you want to know what that tells me? That literally tells me Vought Rising is gonna be a season 6. Why would they keep Soldier Boy alive unless they're gonna do flash forwards? And I think that's legit what's gonna happen in this spin-off. I think it's not just gonna be fully set in the past, and that we'll see it actually be in the present, which is incredibly absurd to say because we thought the main show was supposed to end. Instead, we're sort of getting a mix of a prequel and another season of The Boys. And trust me, that doesn't make me excited, since it essentially completely ruins this season, and partly the entire show. Before we continue, if you enjoy these videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button to try and help me get to 20k. As well, I found this tweet that basically summarizes up everything he did in the 5th season. Wakes up, hates his son, interrupts the show with a supernatural reunion, likes his son, interrupts the show again to tease his spin-off, gives his son V1, hates his son, gets choked out, and goes back to sleep. And it's like, bro, what does he even do? If Soldier Boy, a main character, was written out that simply, you can bet a bunch of other things will be too, such as other side characters and things that have still not been answered to this day. I mean, how are you gonna leave unanswered questions before the finale has even aired? I don't think a show has ever done this before, and I surely would have never expected it from The Boys, because after all, this is one of my favorite shows of all time. I truly thought the first first 3 seasons were incredible, and it's why I still had a lot of hope for season 5. Episode 1, in my opinion, was genuinely amazing. It made me think we were getting the best season so far, but all it did was set my expectations too high. It made me think there'd be full-on wars every single episode, and I'm not saying I wanted a huge fight scene every single week. I'm just saying that I would have liked to see actual stuff get done every episode, because although the plot does technically move forward, it was extremely slow and full of things that are just unnecessary for a final season that only has so much time left. One scene in particular in episode 7 was the whole Dognod and She-Line stuff. It's not even funny in my opinion, and it's just genuinely disgusting. It's something that I don't need to see and that is unnecessary to the plot. You can't tell me that any characters are developing from seeing that, but I bet some people would go and say, oh well, MM and Starlight seeing that sort of points towards this character doing that, and it's like, bro.
If I ever find one of these lying around again, I swear to God, I will stop being so polite. Get the out of my sight before I demolish you.
At this point, a lot of these scenes are just reaching, and I think the same can be said with everything that happened with Terror and his Homelander dreams. These are just things that seem to be there for pure shock value, and it truly makes me reflect on what the hell even happened to this show. I've talked to countless of my friends who have enjoyed it for a long time, and even they can agree that season 5 is ruining the entire show, because although some people will try and argue that its finale doesn't reflect everything else, it kind of does in a sense, because the entire series has been building towards this. Every single battle they've had with Homelander has mattered. So by throwing all of it out the window, it would sort of mean it was all for nothing. And this is why I think the finale is officially cooked. I think by confirming that we're not going to see a main character in the last episode after he didn't die, officially communicates to me that it's going to be a total disaster. I'm sure we're going to get a few good moments, of course. It won't be completely unwatchable, but I don't think it will be anywhere near as satisfying as we thought it would be. And people have been saying this since like episode 6. So am I surprised? Not really. Am I extremely disappointed and kind of angry? Yes. Now I do want to say that when he was put back into that cryo chamber at the end of episode 7, I thought it was pretty weird for them to do that since we've seen him in there for like a total of 5 times. But I did think they were going to do something with it by setting him up to come after Homelander in the finale. I thought that the boys would somehow get to the Vought Tower and release him, and thus he would use his chest blast to depower him and etc. However, I guess the guy's just going to be chilling there for the rest of time since he doesn't age. I mean, like, what can they even do with him? Anyways, I hope by some chance that I'm wrong on this, but you can't tell me that the article quite literally didn't confirm it. It specifically states that they were discussing how to end his character, that his final scene would reference the Impala. And what does he do in episode 7 before he gets choked out by Homelander? He talks about how he's not going to be this sort of dad that helps him fix his Impala or whatever.
This was never going to be a play and catch in the front lawn, fixing up the old Impala bullshit.
So I think that right there confirms we won't see him again. But if I'm wrong, please don't blame me, blame the showrunner.
I'm just a messenger.
But as always, we'll just have to see how things actually turn out. If you enjoyed this rant about Soulja Boy and the series finale, drop a comment down below on your thoughts and other things I've missed. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like my videos, and follow me on Kick for upcoming streams that you don't want to miss. Join the Discord to discuss all your favorite pieces of media, and I'll see you all next time.